Top 3 signs you've outgrown Linux Mint. Hey everyone, if you've been running Linux for a while, there's a good chance Linux Mint played a big role in getting you started. It's one of the most recommended distros for people coming from Windows for a reason. It's stable, familiar, and stays out of your way. You install it, and for a long time, it just works. But priorities change. The same things that made Mint feel comfortable can eventually start to feel limiting. You might still like it, yet notice you're staying mainly because it's familiar, rather than because it still matches how you want to work. Here are 3 clear signs that might be happening.
Number 1, you're waiting longer than you want for newer software and features. Linux Mint is built for stability and predictability. It's based on Ubuntu's long-term support releases, so the package base and major platform updates move deliberately. That approach is excellent when reliability matters more than the newest version of everything. After you've used Linux for a while, though, that slower pace can start to stand out. You see newer kernels, desktop features, or application versions already available on Fedora or Arch-based systems, while Mint is still catching up. Flatpaks and other workarounds help, but they don't always feel ideal when you simply want current packages without extra steps.
If you regularly check what's already shipping on faster-moving distros and feel frustrated waiting, that's a strong signal. Stability is still valuable. Many people stay on Mint for years because of it. But once new features when they arrive becomes a higher priority, the LTS-oriented approach can feel restrictive. Now, number 2, you're curious about desktop environments beyond Cinnamon. Cinnamon is a big part of Mint's appeal. The layout feels familiar to Windows users, traditional menu, panel, system tray, and a polished experience the Mint team has refined carefully. You can install other desktops on Mint, but distro is clearly designed around Cinnamon as the main, complete experience. Once you become more comfortable with Linux, curiosity often grows. GNOME's overview and workspace model feels very different. KDE Plasma offers deep customization. Other environments emphasize different workflows, keyboard navigation, or aesthetics. Exploring those approaches is much easier on a distro where they are the primary or equally supported experience, rather than something added on top of a Cinnamon-centric system. If you find yourself thinking more about how other desktops organize launching apps, managing windows, or handling workspaces than about refining Cinnamon further, you may be ready for a change. Now finally, number 3, you want to understand more of what's happening underneath. Mint does an excellent job of hiding complexity. Software Manager and Update Manager handle most installs and updates through a clear graphical interface. Settings are easy to find. You can run a solid daily driver system without needing to know much about repositories, package sources, or configuration files. That simplicity is perfect when you're new. Later, many users reach a point where they want to look under the hood, where packages come from, what services are running, how a config file change actually affects the system, or how different package managers work. Distros that surface more of the system by default tend to encourage that learning. Mint doesn't prevent it, but it removes so much friction that you often have to deliberately go looking. If you've started wanting to understand the system rather than just use the polished interface, that shift in curiosity is another sign. Now, what to do next? None of this means Linux Mint is bad or that you should abandon it. It remains one of the strongest starting points and a perfectly valid long-term choice for many people. Plenty of users stay on it indefinitely and are completely satisfied. The value of moving on, for those who feel ready, is simply seeing how differently Linux can work. Trying Fedora, an Arch-based option, or another intermediate distro often reveals new approaches to the desktop, package management, and system management that expand what you expect from an operating system. You don't need to wipe your Mint installation to find out. Boot another distro from a live USB or run it in a virtual machine. Spend enough time with it to get past the initial impressions. If you keep finding yourself more interested in the other system than in returning to Mint, that usually tells you something useful. Linux has room for both the stable, polished experience and the more exploratory ones. Recognizing when your needs have shifted is part of growing with the platform. That's it for today. If any of these signs sound familiar, or if you've already made the jump from Mint, share your experience in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.